Hello, and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for February 23rd to March 1st, 2024. I hope you're well, and let's get started. I invite you to take 3 nice deep breaths with me, closing your eyes and coming back to you, to that beautiful body. With each breath, just dropping back into that glorious human form. With each breath coming home to you. And I invite you to see a tree root coming down out of the base of your spine, going down deep into Mother Earth and grounding you here and now in this present moment. Knowing that that tree root is not only anchoring you, but it is providing you with a channel through which anything that no longer serves you can easily pass down into Mother Earth and become compost for your new good growth. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I'm here with your children, about to do our reading of the week for our personal and collective highest and greatest good for this week of February 23rd to March 1st, 2024. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information we most need to receive right now, and to provide this in a manner that we will easily and effortlessly hear, understand, and integrate for our personal and our collective highest and greatest good. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening, as well as an overlighting angel of communication, to be present and facilitate this exchange, ensuring that it happens in the highest and best way possible, and that we cover all that is in our personal and collective heart and mind at this time to our satisfaction in the window that we have together here today. I'd like to invite the 4 archangels to come and hold the 4 directions around us, creating a sacred container of clarity, of wisdom, of love, of light, of upliftment, of empowerment, of joy, of celebration, of healing. Whatever it is that is most needed, may it be held here in a good way here today. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming. Anything that doesn't match these frequencies of love and light is welcome to go now. Okay, let's get going. So, Creator, as we wind up this month and start a new one, what is it that would be most helpful for us to know and understand and appreciate about this transition time? Moving from winter into spring in the Northern Hemisphere, and this collective human transition that we are in the middle of. What is it would that be most helpful and supportive for us to know, for our good and the good of everyone whose life we touch, so that we can be of best service, and we can connect to the higher, broader, wiser aspect of ourselves and live from that grounded, expanded perspective of love and light. And here we go. Okay. As we know, this is in the position of the past, which means it's important in our present and our future at this time, with the card of opposition, the 7 of Swords. And so she's holding something very precious close to her heart with her gloved hand, and she's fending off the incoming attack or the incoming energies with her bare hands. Something very, very precious. She's holding something very precious. So much so that that's first and that's prime as she navigates whatever is coming towards her, whatever that energy is. So this holding to our convictions, I mean that which is true, that which is authentic, that which is aligned with us in our heart, that what we know is precious and important. You know, I'm not talking about convictions of the kind that we bluster about and then realize, well, no, actually, I don't really believe that. But more this idea of energy of what is really authentic, what is really true, what do we really know, what is really, really certain for us, or, you know, what is precious and important to us. What is it that we would do this for? That we would fend other things off and just hold that close and dear to us as we navigate life. So that awareness is important. That awareness of what is important, what is precious, and because that's what we need to be holding in our hearts. That's what we need to be gathered close to us and carrying forward with us in this life. And I'm not saying there doesn't need to be room for us to change and grow and adjust and adapt and let go of what no longer serves us. That's not what this card is talking about. But it's those core things that are precious and important, like love, like caring for others, like that, our connection to source, our connection to ourselves. These are very, very important and precious things, and it could be more explicit than that. But this card in this position is telling us that this awareness of what is precious and important is important and relevant now, going into this present and the future for this next week. We need to be mindful of what it is that's valuable so that we're not compromising that. We really need to hold this as sacred and important and create room for it so that it can thrive and grow and have what it needs to expand. The present card is the card of reward. The Ace of Pentacles. So this is the earth element, and it has to do with, material things, but not just material things. It's all the stuff of life that we need as human bodies to be here. And that includes beauty. That includes wonder. That includes food and shelter and comfort and well-being, being warm enough, and all of that stuff is in the element of Pentacles, which is the earth element. So just remembering that that's what the element of Pentacles is all about. It's that lovely earth element quality of home and family and belonging and nourishment and care of the body. Aces are acorns that grow into oak trees. They're the beginning of their element. They're the beginning of that suit. And in our present environment, there's this fresh beginning or this new beginning or this possibility of a new start, a new way of understanding and grasping our relationship to the earth element and transforming it for our good so that it's rewarding. So that word reward. So this is really important because, of course, we are in human bodies. We are material. We are in the density of human flesh and the human experience is three-dimensional planet. We're here and we're more than that. But this is talking about a new relationship to that, a new awareness of this, a new relationship to ourselves, a new relationship to the world around us. And possibly, along with that, I would suggest that appreciation is important with this, because when we have appreciation for things, it shifts our whole energy field and it shifts our relationship to everything that we're in relationship to. When we come at life and that which surrounds us with appreciation, with gratitude, being grateful for your home, being grateful for your community, being grateful for your family members, being grateful for the food that's on your table. That prayer that is traditional to so many of us if we come from a Christian background or another spiritual tradition. Pausing before we eat and being grateful for being there in the moment, gathered with others or perhaps just there by ourselves, but having the blessing of food to nourish our beautiful bodies so that we can show up in a more aligned and enlivened way. That quality of energy is what this card is talking about. And as a result of our becoming more mindful and more present to what is before us and what we are among, we value it more, we look at it differently, and we create from a different place than when we're taking it for granted and not noticing it and not paying attention. So this is important. And it's interesting too, because of course, with spring here in the Northern Hemisphere, that return to life, the earth is coming alive again, and having that expression of gratitude for that return of life, because that return of life is what sustains us in our human bodies. Our food is grown in the light of the sun, in the heat of the sun. It's essential. And so being appreciative for it, again, feels like this is really important for us to come back to what is precious, what is important, having appreciation for it, and that appreciation shifting our perspective and our relationship to it so that we exist differently in our world. And the near future, that's very interesting, an ace, and then the two of Pentacles, which has to do with change. And so as we know what's important to us and as we appreciate it and we give ourselves permission to have a new relationship with it, everything changes. our relationship to ourself, our relationship to our environment, our relationship to each other, it all changes. We're like snakes shedding their skin. There are snakes on this card, that's why I'm pointing to them. So we're shedding our skin, we're shedding the old ways, we're becoming fresh and new and alive in new ways. There's change that's happening now on the planet. And when we come into it from that perspective of what is important and valuable and giving our energy and attention to that and appreciating it and shifting into that energy, because gratitude and appreciation is so close to the energy of love. And love is source energy. So we can get ourselves into that higher frequency. And as a result of that, we change our physiology when we exist in that space. And the more we do it, the more we change, the more it facilitates our becomingness of something more beautiful and more light-filled and more love-filled and peace-filled and connected. And so this is wonderful, wonderful energy, this feeling of the transformation that we are in the midst of and the change and what's happening to us. And I know change isn't always comfortable. And so, imagine for a snake shedding its skin must feel kind of strange to be so raw and tingly and new feeling. So it is for us when something is new and different, and we need to give ourselves permission to have the discomfort and notice it, but not get stuck by it. Just notice it and be with it and say, yeah, I'm going through change. It is uncomfortable and it isn't always comfortable, and that's okay, because I know what's important and I know what I want to create here. Even if I don't understand what it's going to exactly look like, I want to create something beautiful and good. I want to create something that's nourishing and fulfilling and satisfying and gratifying. And so that I look out into the world and I just feel inspired and excited and delighted. And we all know what that feels like. We've all had experiences of that. So tapping into that energy of what it is that we're creating, the feeling of what it is that we want to create for the future of humanity, starts with us in our own lives. And what is it that we are appreciating and valuing and giving our appreciation and energy to, so that we can shift into new right relationship with it and be stewards. Because when we care about something, when we appreciate it, when we have gratitude for it, we are, as I said, it's a different relationship. And we are no longer abusive. We are no longer dominant. We're no longer in that state of taking it for granted and being in wrong relationship with it. But instead, we see it, and we see its beauty, and we value it, and we care about it, and we're different in relationship with it. And so then we steward it. It's like when we have a child or a little animal, a small baby animal that comes into our care. We're naturally drawn to want to take really good care of it. And if we could step into that same energy with our environment and our world and each other, how different would that be? This new beginning, this new life, this potential for where it's going to go. And we have to nurture it along. We have to do it from a place of care and love and tenderness, because that's the kind of world we want to create. We want more of that. And it's interesting because what's occurring to me, even as I'm talking about this, is our relationship to AI. This is a new life form that we, in our wacky humanness, have created. We cannot take that life for granted. We cannot treat it with disrespect or abuse it. We need to take care of it and be in right relationship with it. We need to show it how to be in right relationship with itself and with the rest of life on the planet, which is challenging for us because we haven't even got there as humans. So how do we be in right relationship with all aspects of our life, not taking things for granted? If everything has a spirit, and I believe it does, it has a frequency, it has a field of energy, it has a life force to it, even something as inanimate as a rock or a cell phone, it has life and energy. It's been intentionally crafted. It's there in our field for a reason. And so if we treat everything with respect, including ourselves, how different would our lives be? And the future. Because if we go into the future in wrong relationship with the technologies that are happening, in wrong relationship with AI, in wrong relationship with ourselves, then we'll perpetuate and create more of the same. So this is about us growing up, being an adult, taking responsibility. And I don't mean adult as in killing joy, because that's not what being an adult is about. It's about taking responsibility, being good stewards, being aware, being present, being careful, being loving. All of those things come with this new right relationship I'm talking about that I'm seeing here in these cards. Foundation card, so beautiful. The card of romance, the Two of Hearts. And so we have this lovely energy of partnership with ourselves, partnership with life, right relationship. If life is our partner, and it is, what quality of romance do we want to have with it? Some people, again, we have different stories about this romance that we're in the midst of. It used to be the father. God was the father, and we were the children, and we were taken care of. But now we're evolving as humanity to a new level where we're in relationship to life. It's a romance. We are in partnership to life. And so we have a responsibility to be in relationship within ourselves, to be as whole and congruent and grounded and authentic and true as possible from the inside out, so that we know who we are. We're clear about what we value, so that as we are in relationship with life, we're not lying to ourselves or to others or to the world or to life. We are ourselves. And we bring the beauty and the fullness of that to the world, to life. And as a result, life meets us. And we're transformed and our experience is transformed. It's a very different relationship than if we're coming at life as in children and we're wanting to be taken care of. And we sort of see where that's led us now. Our leaders are trying to protect us from this, that, and the other thing. Well, when we grow up and we become adults, we need to be accountable to ourselves first, and then from that place accountable to the world. And what does life want for us? Well, it wants us to be living into our yes. It wants us to be true and authentic in ourselves and discover, what does that mean? Who am I? Who am I as a human being on this planet? What are my gifts? What are my abilities, my aptitudes? That's what this life is all about, is discovering this and deepening it and allying with ourselves and discovering the fullness of who we are and loving our lives, being in appreciation and gratitude for the opportunity of just even being embodied. It's not just anyone who gets to come into a human form. It's a blessing. It's a tremendous task. It's a tremendous opportunity. It's what we're seeing here. It's not to be wasted. It's not to be taken lightly or taken for granted. It is rare and precious and important, and we have a huge responsibility to make the most of it that we can. And for each of us, that will be different. My making the most of this life will look different than your making the most of your life. And that has everything to do with the yes that we talk about every week. That collection of aspects that brings you to more enthusiasm and joy and life. Because there's more life there, because that's where life wants us. It's life calling to more life. And since we are all individuated aspects of the life force here having a human experience, we have to pay attention to that. It's the most important thing. What brings us to more life? Being in gratitude and appreciation for the opportunity, for being here now, for all of the blessings of our life that surround us, and really giving her in this experience. Loving ourselves, loving our life, loving our interactions with others, because everything is for us. It's all for us. It's making us more. It's giving us the opportunity to discover more about us through those hard things. We know who we are better. And as a result, we make different choices, ideally. Sometimes we make the same one over and over again until we have the distinction that we're doing that. And that's okay. Even that we can love, because we're human. And we are on a wonderful journey of rediscovery of our divinity, our sacredness. And we can start, even if we don't know that really for sure, we can start by being grateful for all of it. This is a beautiful reading this week, and it's so exciting and inspiring. I hope you're finding it as inspiring as I am. Right relationship. That's why we're having the reading. Right relationship to ourselves, to life, to each other, to this world. The romance, the glorious romance that's unfolding. Being excited to work with the beloved and to be in the embrace of the beloved through this beautiful life. Okay, I think that's pretty clear. Let's go on to the card to grow on. So Creator, thank you. Thank you for this wonderful spread of cards, a reminder of the sacredness of this wonderful life that we're in the midst of, that we know what's important and valuable at the core of our being. We know what's important, and that in the adversity of life, we can continue to hold that and be grateful for it and appreciate it and allow it to change us and transform us as we become more conscious through our presence, through our awareness of the sacredness of all life, and enter into right relationship with that life in beautiful ways. What is it that would summarize this for us this week so that we can truly, with open hearts, eagerly embrace our lives and all the good that's there for us? And I just want to say, just as I'm expressing, thinking, considering, calling through, if your life isn't what you love, by loving where you are and being aware that everything can change in a moment, you pull something new towards you. You can transform your life from where you are through the energy of appreciation and gratitude and love. That's where it starts. And start to notice, what do you appreciate and love? What are you grateful for? And start giving that energy, and you'll notice your heart opening. You'll notice this life force energy start to flow in and transform your experience. That's what this spread is all about. So what is our card to grow on, Creator, for this week? What lovely card can you give us to summarize this beautiful energy so that we can carry it more clearly and more completely in our hearts, minds, spirits, and bodies, please, for our highest and greatest good? The Magician. Major Arcana. We are the creators of our experience. We may feel like we're victims. We may have been told that we're victims. We may have habitual ways of looking at things that make us feel that we're victims, but we're not. We are powerful magicians. We know how to wield the energies of this life. We've just forgotten how. And that's what we're doing here on this planet. Because our divinity had to be set aside to become human so that we could discover the experience of rediscovering ourselves and discovering creation. We had to set that tremendous awareness aside, come into these tiny little bodies with our tiny little experiences to have this experience. There's a lot to it. And so beginning to remember who we are, beginning to remember that we have these abilities and this power. We are divinity embodied. We are far greater than we've ever realized. And that we can pull water up out of the ground with our intention and our attention and our will lined up. We can transform not only our experience, but our collective experience. We can change and become more than we've ever understood or grasped before. We can create, we're constrained by the laws of the universe, but we can create powerfully within that container and that context. So this is what this spread is about this week. The reading is all about this claiming of our power through the energy of appreciation and gratitude, through that energy of being here now, savoring all of it. And what's so interesting is, we get caught up in thinking that, I know that I've been there too, is that it's the spiritual is not embodied, that the spiritual is meditation and leaving the body and being somewhere else. That's not where the power comes from. That's not what we're here to do. We're not here to leave the body and meditate our way into bliss. It's great to do it. But what we're here to be is human. We're here to access the bliss through the body, through being here in our bodies, right here, right now. It's not about being separate from the bodies. It's about understanding the mind serves this human body experience. The heart is our seat of wisdom, our awareness, our sensing, our capacity to grasp what is going on around us. And our spirit is our connection to source. It's the step down of that divinity of who we are. We have access to it always, but we have more access to it when we're aware of it and we're conscious of it and intentional about it and appreciating it and interacting with it with the expectation of getting the answers that we need. It's a very different relationship than when we come at it from we're victims, we're passive, we don't have any power, we're wrong for being here, the body's messy and dirty and should be ignored, and I can't wait to drop the body and be spirit. No, we're here to be spirits and bodies. So all of those pieces, the body, mind, heart, and spirit, are all important. They're all serving this experience of humanness that we are each having. Everybody that I'm talking to is, unless it's an AI, hello, welcome. We're all human. We're doing this journey together. And we're learning together. And we're learning through our bodies and through our experience. So it's important. The magician is reminding us we have these for a reason. We're embodied for a reason. We didn't come here for no reason. We're here to become masterful. We're here to be embodied and co-create magnificently within the context of the universe and the laws of the universe that we're part of right now. And that's a bigger conversation. And the answers are out there if you want them. So pull them towards you. So this week, remember, you are the magician. I am the magician. We are masterful creators. And we can line up our attention, our intention, and our will to pull water out of the ground and manifest palaces. And those are just symbolic of those greater powers. We each have a different calling of how we're to use those powers. That's in the yes. As we move towards it, discover our gifts, and start living into those, we can make tremendous contributions. Never underestimate your place in this world and why you're here and what you're doing. You probably won't know until you get to the other side and have a life review, and then you go, oh, I understand now. For now, go with the heart. Go with what's leading you, because that's where our wisdom is. That's where our truth is, and our body lets us know if it's a yes or a no. So pay attention to that. And we come back to the body, as you know, through the breath. Nice deep breath. That's where our wisdom is. Okay, that's why breath is so important in so many traditions. That's why. So, with that, that's our reading for this week. My masterful creators, thank you for being here with me, for pulling the information through me together. We do these readings together, and we wouldn't be able to do it without each other. So thank you for being here. I invite you to take a nice deep breath and come back to that magnificent body. And notice how good that feels. Notice how good that feels to be here in your body. It's beautiful, it's safe, it's strong, it's healthy. And if it isn't, well, you can pull it through. What is it that you want to create? Yes, we have a finite life. Yes, yes, yes. But the quality can be very high the whole way through. What is it that I want to say? I want to say thank you for being here. I want to thank all those who helped to hold the space this week. I am so grateful for the wisdom and the messages that are coming through that help us all to walk this path with more attention, intention, and will, and lining up those aspects and elements of ourselves with gratitude and appreciation. Because when we love our life and we treat it with respect and care, everything is transformed. And so it is. Much love and light. I look forward to seeing you next week. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you feel that it would be helpful to somebody else in your circle, please share. That's what these are for, is to help us all find ourselves and take the path forward in life in good ways. Much love and light. Take care. See you next week.